Today we're going to be making a Trim Healthy Mama chili, and it's called Pearl's chili, and we're also going to be making a cheddar herb biscuit. So join me. So the only difference that I'm going to be making to this, I am going to make a couple little changes to the recipe just because there's some items I don't have, so I'm going to substitute. But the main thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be cooking everything in my crock pot today instead of over the stove. I've got some 3 grandkids coming over for the day, and I just don't have time to sit and fiddle with the stove. So let me show you my crock pot version and how I do it. So one of the things I just wanted to share with you is don't ever be afraid when you have a recipe to put in the things that you like or take out the things that you don't like, or even to substitute things if you don't have them on hand. As long as there's similar carbohydrates and fats and things like that, you'll be just fine. So I always kind of cook down a recipe. So let me show you some of the changes I made to this, and then I'll show you the chili when it's all done. So a couple days ago, I had cooked up some hamburger for another soup that I made. And so I froze the rest of it. So I've just got about a half a pound of hamburger with some cooked onions with it. And so the recipe here, I'm going to put the recipe in the description just like it's called for. And then if you're interested in changing any of it like I did, you just, follow what your desires are. So to the recipe, they actually call for ground beef or venison, a large onion, and then Rotel style tomatoes. So I didn't have any Rotel tomatoes. I just didn't have any of that. So I'm actually adding a can of my medium salsa. It's got some chilies in it. It's got some diced tomatoes, and it's just gonna add a ton of flavor to this recipe. I'm also gonna be adding some chopped tomatoes from my garden that I had frozen, some onions, and just some bell peppers. And when I have a huge glut of anything, I usually clean them, chop them, and freeze them, and I use them throughout the year. And it just makes for the best meals, especially when you're making something like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my beans. I'm using black beans that I canned this last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these and then put them in my chili. I'm gonna be adding some beef broth to this. I'm probably gonna add a little bit more broth, but I wanna mix this up and just see how it looks. Definitely gonna be adding a little bit more broth. Smells good already. All right, this will make for a couple nice bowls of chili. So all I'm gonna do is set up my crock pot on low, and I'm gonna set up my crock pot on high for about an hour, and then I'm gonna be turning it down and cooking it like another 4 hours, and it'll be ready by the time I have dinner. So my chili is all set up. I've got it on high. I'm gonna move that to low just as soon as, after about an hour, and then I'm just gonna let this cook all afternoon. It's time to make our cheddar herb biscuits. So we're gonna start off by putting a large egg in the bowl, and we're just gonna give that a little stir. We're gonna put in a pinch of mineral salt. I use pink Himalayan sea salt. Then we're gonna put 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. We're gonna put 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried onion powder. We're gonna put in some dried dill. Smells amazing. This is out of my garden. This last year, I had a huge harvest of dill. Just gonna give all that a little mix. We're gonna put in 1/2 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Now theirs says aluminum free. I don't have aluminum free, I just have regular. So this is what we're gonna use. We're gonna put in a tablespoon of cheddar cheese. And then we're gonna be putting in some Healthy Mama baking blend. We're gonna put 1/4 cup in. Stir. And then we're gonna take 1/2 tablespoon of cold butter, and we're gonna just cut it into little cubes. And this recipe makes 2 biscuits. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of stir that up a little bit. I'm not looking to break up the butter. I just want a soft dough to kind of come together. Then I'm gonna spray 2 of these little containers of my little cupcake tins. And I sprayed those with coconut oil. And so I'm just gonna take the mix and I'm just gonna kind of drop it down in these 2 little containers, these 2 little muffin tins. And I can tell you this, it already smells wonderful. I'm gonna put that in a preheated oven at 350 degrees, and I'm gonna cook that for 15 minutes. Well, our dinner is completely done, and I wish I could share the smell and the taste with you, because oh my gosh, this is amazing. So let me show you what I've got. I've got some beautiful chili. Look at that. And I've got some herb biscuits. We're gonna go ahead and give them a try. All right, let's give this delicious soup a try. Well, it's actually chili. Oh. Oh, that is so good. I am not kidding. We're talking like to the moon and back. Oh. Let's try us some biscuits. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm gonna eat every bite. Oh my gosh. That dill, so good. Well, thanks for joining me. I gotta run over here and eat, because I'm like my little grandbaby, screaming and crying for a minute if she doesn't get her milk. So thank you for joining me today. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring the bell for future notifications. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.